Daily Devotion with Pastor Balla for June 17th, 2022, from Ezekiel chapter 1, the glory of God revealed. Previously, we heard about Ezekiel's vision in which God is being described as a wheel in a wheel. Wheels are typically used for movement. So yes, we have a God who is indeed with us always to the end of the age. So let's continue with Ezekiel chapter 1, verse 18. And their rims were tall and awesome, and the rims of all four were full of eyes all around. And when the living creatures went, the wheels went beside them. And when the living creatures rose from the earth, the wheels rose. Wherever the Spirit wanted to go, they went, and the wheels rose along with them. For the spirit of the living creatures was in the wheels. Full of eyes? Well, we do know that God is all-knowing. And yes, this is a very spectacular vision. Verse 21, when those went, these went. And when those stood, these stood. And when those rose from the earth, the wheels rose along with them. For the spirit of the living creatures was in the wheels. Over the heads of the living creatures there was the likeness of an expanse, shining like all-inspiring crystal, spread out above their heads. And above the expanse, their wings were stretched out straight, one toward another. And each creature had two wings covering its body. Notice the connection here of God moving from the earth to the expanse, which is something above the earth, and sometimes is used to indicate heaven. So it is with God, who comes to us here on earth from heaven above. We are unable to get to heaven, so heaven needs to come to us, or I should say God needs to come to us to bring us to be with him in heaven above. Again, all of this is designed to bring us comfort, knowing that God does indeed come to us. This is the same idea of what happens in the divine service. When we celebrate the Lord's Supper, God comes to us. God is with us. It may not be as spectacular as the vision that Ezekiel had, but it is the same God coming to us. Verse 24, and when they went, I heard the sound of their wings like the sound of many waters, like the sound of the Almighty, a sound of tumult, like the sound of an army. When they stood still, they let down their wings. And there came a voice from above the expanse over their heads. When they stood still, they let down their wings. And above the expanse, over their heads, there was the likeness of a throne, in appearance like sapphire. And seated above the likeness of the throne was a likeness with a human appearance. So notice the sound of the many waters, the sound of the army, and when they stood still, you could hear another voice coming from the expanse, the voice of God. We do often get caught up and distracted by the many voices of this world. However, the voice of God does indeed come to us through God's word. But like those who first went into exile, did they forget to listen to God's word? The answer is yes. Do we often get so involved with the voices around us that we forget to listen to God's word? Again, the answer is yes. Verse 27, and upward from what had the appearance of his waist, I saw it were gleaming metal, like the appearance of fire enclosed all around. And downward from what had the appearance of his waist, I saw as it were the appearance of fire. And there was brightness around him, like the appearance of a bow that is in the cloud on the day of rain, so was the appearance of the brightness all around. Such was the appearance of the likeness of the glory of the Lord. And when I saw it, I fell on my face, and I heard the voice of the one speaking. God's peace and many blessings be with you. And thank you for listening. And please take an opportunity to share this message with others. If you have enjoyed these daily devotions, please consider making a donation to Peace Lutheran Church, 24024 West Main Street, Plainfield, Illinois, 60544. Thank you again for listening.